guys, it's Cage Side Convo today, back with another video, and today I would like to talk to you about a crazy hypothesis that I have. Conor McGregor will leave the UFC. Now, in this video I'll just talk to you about why I think that's going to happen, some stuff that he said that's made me think that's going to happen, and what I think he will be doing after he leaves, if he does in fact leave. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So guys, here is the first reason that I believe Conor McGregor will eventually leave the UFC. So, here is a little snippet that I took from what I believe is his post-fight press conference at UFC 205. He says, "Where's my share? Where's my equity?" Clearly, he wants some sort of stake in the UFC. Basically, his argument is that he's bringing all the profits, he's the one who's bringing so much attention to the UFC, and so basically he's saying he deserves an equal share in the company. And he's basically just saying to the UFC owners, if you want me to come back and fight for you again, you better come to me and you better give me some sort of equity in the UFC. Right, so the reason I think that this might be a factor in him leaving the UFC is, I know Dana White is not exactly the owner of the UFC, but he is the president and he does have a massive amount of control over what they do. And he has made it quite clear that he will back Conor in everything that he does, but he will not base his whole company around one fighter, and he will not let Conor McGregor become too obsessed with power that it will end up ruining the whole of the UFC. And I believe that Dana White is a smart enough man to see that that will happen if Conor McGregor gets any sort of say in the ownership of the company. But obviously Conor is demanding this, so I think that eventually they'll just say no, you can't have it, and he will say fine, I'll go to boxing, or I'll go to wrestling, or I'll go to Hollywood and do films. He can go to any other field that he wants to, and that's why I believe that he may eventually leave the UFC. So, as you can see, the next obvious reason I have behind this hypothesis is Conor McGregor's proposed fight with Floyd Mayweather. Now, obviously, it doesn't take a genius to work out that mixing the two sports is only going to end a few ways. Now, obviously, Floyd was earning 100 million in his last fights. Conor's last fight, he earned 3 million. So, what do you want to do about paying these two? You want to suddenly... So, alright, so Conor can go to boxing, they can pay him 100 million, therefore he's ending his contract with the UFC, he's breaching his contract with the UFC. Or Dana White can pay both of them. His offer was 25 million each. Now, yes, this would be alright, they might accept it. Floyd has said he wouldn't accept it, but he might. Even if he does, Dana White has now set precedent that he will pay both of these fighters 25 million, and so we've got a $22 million raise on the record-breaking fight purse that any UFC fighter has ever earned. Now, I can't even be bothered to work out that percentage, but it's a massive raise. So now on, so look, you've got Tony Ferguson, Khabib Nurmagomedov fighting. They suddenly say, 25 million you paid these two, fine, I want 15. So he's gone from paying them 1 million to 15, and the UFC, yes, it's gone stupidly out of control, popular. It has gained a lot of interest from the public, but it can't afford to be paying people 25 million every fight. But then you can't just be like, oh, I'll give these two 25 million, but from now on you're getting a maximum of 1 million a fight. It's not how it works. So yeah, I mean, there's so many more issues with this predicted super fight, but that is one of the main ones that lead me to believe that Conor McGregor will eventually leave the UFC. Now, I could talk for hours and hours about this video, but I'm gonna finish it with this final, very important reason why I think Conor McGregor will eventually leave the UFC, and that is these two men right here, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson. Conor McGregor is out until May with the birth of his child coming, and obviously these two are fighting for the interim lightweight championship. I believe at UFC 209, well, you can watch in my previous video my prediction for this fight. I believe that Khabib Nurmagomedov will win, and I think Conor McGregor will duck him. I think that he will do what he can to avoid this fight. He will eventually just put it off. Dana White will yet again strip him of his belt and give it to Nurmagomedov, and there'll be no one. He can't just keep refusing to defend his belt. He'll probably get extremely pissed off that they've stripped him of his second belt, and he'll say, you know what, fuck you, I can go make 100 million in boxing. I don't have to work for you anymore. I'm not your employee. And he'll leave, and it's as simple as that. Failing that, Ferguson wins, Conor fights him, he either loses or he doesn't. If he doesn't, he'll probably fight Nate for the title. He may lose, he probably will win, but either way, I just don't see how this whole episode, and as well, what you've got to remember is that we've got until May this year, for everything to unfold before he gets back into the octagon. So that's so much time for him to not fight, and for the UFC to forget how important he is to them. And that is my final reason why I do believe Conor McGregor will eventually leave the UFC. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Let me know any suggestions for what you want to see in future. And that is all for today, guys. I will see you next time.